Hey there, what's up? How are you? My name is Kyle Marlett. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing so good. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Today I'm going to be teaching you guys some really simple magic tricks that you can do, card tricks specifically, that you can do at home with a deck of cards that you have laying around the house. Now this isn't no Harry Potter, David Blaine trick deck of cards. This is normal cards. These are tricks that you could do with normal cards, okay? You can get these decks. You can use any deck of cards, right? I'm also going to be teaching you how to make some tricky card things that will help you accomplish certain tricks. Now, those are completely abnormal. They're not normal, but most of these do involve regular cards that you have just laying around the house. So let's get into it. Let's learn some card tricks. But before you do, just go ahead and just like the video. Just hit the like button. Smash that like button. You know why? Because it's fun to like things. It's fun to like things. So let's get started. Let's make this deck of cards appear on a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Appear deck of cards. Whoa! Crazy. So this is a normal deck of cards. These are called bicycle cards. You can get these any Walgreens, Walmart, Target, anything like that, Amazon. But it doesn't have to be this. It could be your old... I don't know about you. I am a millennial. I know, terrifying. But when I was a kid, I would always find cards at my grandparents' house, and they would always be like these like really small cards that would have like paintings of a farm on it. So, but you could use those, but it's just kind of silly, I know. So this is, yet again, normal deck of cards. You can do this. Check this out. Whoa! Hey! Whoa! That's called a spring, or also called not having a life. It's really difficult. It does take some practice. Maybe one day I'll teach you guys how to do that. But in the meantime, let's just do some card tricks, shall we? Now, the first card trick we're going to be teaching you guys, it's actually a what we call in magic a gimmick. That's a new word. I'll put it right here. The definition: gimmick. What a gimmick is in magic terms is basically it's a device or what looks to be an ordinary item, but really it's completely a trick item that allows you to help you like accomplish the trick, right? So this looks like a normal playing card, right? You can see it looks like a normal playing card, but in reality, this is actually a gimmick card that's going to help us accomplish the trick. Before I show you how it works, let me just show you what the trick is, shall we? This is called the balancing deck of cards. Hold on, let's take it back. This is called the balancing glass on card. Okay, so this is what it looks like. And what's great about this is this could be done as a magic trick, but it also could be done like as a challenge / prank, or even what we call in the business a bar bet. A bar bet they're not very common anymore, but bar bets used to be a thing where basically you would go to the bar. There was nothing to do back in the day because there were, no cell phones. You would actually have to talk to people. And you go to the bar and you would basically bet someone that you could do this basically impossible puzzle or impossible stunt. And if you got it right, or if you were able to do it, they would have to buy you a beer. You would basically bet them that you could do this for a beer. And the crazy thing and the secret thing is 99% of the puzzles or the stunts were foolproof. No matter how hard you try or how hard it looks, you can accomplish that. So it's basically a way to trick people into giving you a beer. Because you know what? Magicians, we lie a lot. And that's unfortunately the truth. So this is a really cool trick. So basically you take a card, you can see both sides of the card. It looks like a normal card. But the crazy thing is if I put it right here on the table like this, the card stands up by itself, which I know is very impressive. But let's take it a step further. I'm actually going to be balancing this glass of water somehow on the edge of the card. What? Come on, that's pretty cool, right? And the crazy thing, we can pick it up and you show the card, you can drink the drink, and that's the trick. You ready to see how it works? Well, this is the gimmick. Like I said, this is very simple to make. You can make this pretty quickly with just some cards and some tape and stuff that you have laying around the house. So it looks like a normal card for the most part, but in reality, this is actually 2 cards taped together, and the second card is actually folded in half like this. Okay, so it's 2 cards. I put 1 card on top of the other card, and 1/2 of this card is taped together. You can use rubber cement or glue or double-sided tape. This is just double-sided tape. Now this card I've used a lot, so it has a bit of a crease. When you make yours, it won't have a crease just because it's going to be brand new. But what this allows is basically for you to fold half that card out like this, creating basically an L bracket or a support system for that card to stand up straight on its own, right? Now, your friends don't know this. They can't see it. You do have to be a little cautious of the angle. So if you have a friend standing up and you're sitting down and they're looking down, they might see this extra support system. So you just got to be a little aware of your surroundings. Now, for the standing up of the card, you don't need much of a support system. It can literally be just that. It can just be a little pivot out and it will stand up like that for the most part. Now for the drink part, you do want to bend it or open it up to the 90-degree part. So you're going to go here and basically, let's see, is that the best position for you guys? Maybe that's there. So this is the exposed view. So you're the magician here. When I put the glass on top of the card, it's balancing on the actual card, but mostly on this kind of L bracket stand that we just made. And you want to make sure that the drink isn't too heavy because it will make the glass bow and it could fall, but you want to just have a little bit of liquid in there and a little bit of a glass. This is a plastic glass, and you just kind of do it. And what's great is it stands up on its own, looks amazing. Your friends freak out. People start screaming in horror because you're this wizard. It's great. Now the thing is you do have to be careful, right? Because you're genuinely balancing this here. But what that kind of makes it better. It kind of makes it look like you're actually doing this for real. So you want to hold on to the card a little bit, and you want to put it there. And for some reason, if you put the glass too back and it starts to fall and you can catch it and you can kind of notice that's happening and you're readjusting, that looks like you're genuinely balancing it because you kind of are, but it is obviously fake and it's helping you a lot. So you just want to make sure that it's balanced in such a way that it stands straight up and down. It's a miracle. How cool is that? Now you pick up the glass, and I like to pick up the card at the same time. And as I pick up the card, I'm just closing that flap with my thumb, right? So we're here. I'm just going to close that flap with my thumb. You show both sides. You're done. That's the trick. It's pretty cool. Now, a lot of things about this, you can actually do this like as a trick, like I said, or you could do it as a stunt, like a bar bet. Like I bet you that you can, I bet you if I can do this, you owe me a drink. But you could also do this as kind of a prank. So you could actually bring out a normal card, you hand that to your friend, you get them a glass of liquid, you have a glass of liquid, and you say, if you can do what I do, I'll give you $100. And if you can't, you owe me $100, right? You could kind of bet them or pull a prank on them. Now, obviously, you're going to be able to do it, but when they do it, and if they genuinely try, this is going to fall. Water is going to go everywhere. They owe you money. You're welcome. You just made some cash money. You just made some cash. Let's add some rain money effect right here. That looked good. And that's the trick. That's the balancing card trick. So let's move on, shall we? This trick is actually really cool because it's kind of like you're mind reading. You're a mind reader. You can read people's minds. You can just go like Taco Bell, and that's what they want to eat. It's pretty cool. But it is a card trick. It's very simple, and it's also impromptu. You can do this anywhere. This particular version I'm going to do, you do a little something beforehand, but you can do this anywhere, anytime, and I'll show you how to do this. So you have the cards, they're all different, they're all mixed up. It's not a trick deck of cards. That's the cool thing about this trick. So you can have your friends shuffle up these cards if you want, have them shuffle it up. You can have them mix it up, whatever they want to do. And you basically have your friends cut the cards anywhere you want, or even better yet, they can deal down the cards until they want to stop. So you can have them think of a number. So let's say they're thinking of a number and they're going to deal down those cards, and that number is 15. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now what's great is they can stop there, right? They can stop there, or if they want to change their mind, they could keep going, or they could even come back a little bit. They can even move it back a little bit. But they have a free choice legitimately of stopping anywhere you want. And I'm going to bet you this $1 that I know what card that you stopped at. So much to the point that I'm actually going to mark where you stop by placing that dollar bill, committing my prediction right there. I know what card you stopped at. So we're going to move the dollar bill out of the way. Let's see what card they stopped at. They stopped at the 4 hearts. Now, I knew you were going to pick the 4 hearts. So much that I even actually wrote on this dollar bill before we started the 4 of hearts. Whoa, I'm a mind reader. It's cool, right? You want to learn how it works? It's easy. It's really easy. So this is how it works. You get a dollar bill. You write the card on it. Now, it doesn't have to be the 4 hearts. It could be literally any card that you want. It doesn't even have to be a dollar bill. I do like that because it kind of, yet again, fits in with that bar bet kind of challenge type of idea. But that being said, it could be a napkin, your wallet. It could be literally anything you want. So you can just get a marker, and if you're at a bar, you quickly write down, you will pick the 9 of clubs or whatever you want to do. Just write it down on a piece of paper. Now, the only thing that you need to worry about is that you need to make sure whatever you're writing your prediction on is at least as big as a playing card. It's kind of convenient that a dollar bill is slightly larger than a playing card, and that is the secret. So basically, all I'm doing is taking the 4 hearts or whatever card that I've written down, I'm putting it underneath the dollar bill, and I'm putting it right here on the table. Now, this one I would say, like the dollar bill is ever so slightly bigger than a playing card, bigger than a playing card, but you do have to kind of worry, just to make sure you don't want the dollar bill to kind of shift like this, and we see that the card is there, because the whole goal here is that your spectator or your friends don't know that there's a playing card under here. So if you're new to this, you might want to try a napkin or a index card or something like that. But if you practice and you pick it up, now a little kind of secret thing here is you set it off the edge of the table, both the card and the bill. So if you set this up beforehand, it's right there. When you pick up the bill and you're picking up the playing card, you can grab both at the same time without fumbling on it, okay? So basically, all you're going to do is you're going to hide the card that you are predicting underneath your prediction, whatever that may be. This time, we're going to use a bill and a playing card. So at this point, it's all presentation. There's really no sleight of hand or anything like that. You just have your friends think of a number, or randomly stop whenever they want. You could be away. Your back could be turned. Your eyes could be closed. You could have someone blindfold you once, so there's no way you could know. And yet again, this could be a borrowed deck of cards as long as you secretly take one card and put it underneath your prediction. So you have them start dealing the cards. And what's great about this is when normal people deal down cards like this, it kind of makes a messy pile, and that's something that you want. That's something that's kind of nice. And if for some reason your friend is like OCD and they're really trying to stack it up, that you can fix that. So basically you go, oh, you stopped at the 17th card. If you would have stopped at the 16th card, it would have been here, 15, 12, whatever. And you could kind of mess up the pile a little bit and make it messy. So you just kind of want them to kind of make a little pile here, and you can give them an example so they can see kind of how it looks. And you have them start dealing cards down until whenever they want to stop. And they can literally deal down every single card. It doesn't matter. But let's say they randomly stop here. You're gonna say that I'm so confident that I know that you were gonna stop at that card, that I knew that. I'm actually going to mark where you cut. I'm going to lock in my prediction, and I'm going to lock it in by placing the bill that I'm betting you right here. And what you're doing is you're picking up the bill in the card and you're placing that onto the deck of cards like this. You literally just put the card that you predicted, or that you're predicting, on top of the pile. But they don't know that. And because the pile is messy, it's impossible to tell. It's impossible to know that. Like, there's literally no difference between what you see here and now here. It looks the exact same. They have no idea. So you put it here, and yet again, now you're done. Now you get to just soak it up. You just get to know in the back of your head that you are going to blow their minds in a second. That's how good this is. So you basically go, let's see what card you stopped at. You move the bill off to the side, or you can have them do that. They turn over the card. They see that it's the 4 of hearts, and you go, I knew you were going to pick that so much that I knew that I actually even wrote it down in permanent marker on the bill that this was going to be the card that you were going to pick. How good is that? Come on, that's so good. Not only do you look like a mind reader and that you can predict the future, but it's also incredibly easy to do. And maybe you just make a little money from your friends, by betting them $5. Who's to say? I'm not condoning anything, but you could do it. You shouldn't do it. You shouldn't do it. You shouldn't do that. Let's move on to the next trick. This is the last trick for you guys. This one is so easy, but it's going to make it look like you have an insane amount of skill. And if there's anything that I love more, it's the idea that something looks really difficult and hard, but it's actually really easy. That is how I have built my career. It's kind of sad, but this is the trick. So you have 2 cards. You have a red 4 and a black 3. A red 4 and black 3, that's all you got to remember. The red 4 goes somewhere in the lower part of the deck. The black 3 goes somewhere in the middle, high end of the deck. We put it into the deck of cards like this. Now I'm going to attempt to throw the cards from hand to hand. In mid-throw, I'm going to attempt to catch those 2 cards. Can I get a no way? No way. Awesome. Here we go. Watch the cards. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Just like that, the cards land in my hand, but 2 cards stay behind, and they happen to be that black 3 and that red 4. Come on, baby. Good, right? Good. This is how it works. So it all works because of the wording of what I'm saying, the script, if you will. So I say a red 4 and a black 3, but if you notice, I don't specifically say what red 4 or what black 3. And that is the secret to the trick. So I'm going to get out the cards here. So it doesn't have to be these 2 sets of cards, but you do need 2 sets of cards. So it could be the red 7s and the black 9s, or the red 2s and the black 6s. It doesn't matter, just 2 sets of cards. So in this case, I'm using the 2 black 3s and the 2 red 4s. That's all that you need to know, okay? So what's going to happen is one of those cards is going to go on top of the deck. So I'm going to put the black 3 here, and the red 4 goes on the bottom of the deck of cards. So that's all you got to do. That is your setup. Now you're ready to do the trick. Now here comes the important part. I don't say I have the 4 diamonds and the 3 spades. I don't say that, because then people will remember what the cards are. Now, I've been doing magic my whole life, and I can tell you the number one thing that people easily forget are what cards they pick. Normally when I do a card trick, I have someone pick a card, but I also have them sign it. So they don't really even need to remember what the card is, because they know that they've signed that card. And that is kind of, we're using that to our advantage right now, okay? So I say I have the red 4 and the black 3. I don't say specifically what it is, because in a moment, when the cards reappear in my hand, they're actually going to be the opposing cards. They're not going to be these cards, but they don't know that because you never told them what these cards were, and they won't remember what these cards are because they're watching a magic trick, and that's just how it works. I promise you it's going to work. So I say I'm going to take this red 4 and this black 3, we're going to put it somewhere in the deck of cards. Now when you're doing this, it's important you don't show the bottom of the deck of cards, because you don't want them to kind of see that there's a 4 here and a 4 here, because they might be suspicious here in a second. So you put them in the deck, but you really got to make a big deal that these are really going into the middle of the deck of cards. Now the rest of the trick is very simple. You're going to toss the cards from hand to hand, but you're going to apply a little bit of pressure on the bottom of the deck and a little bit of pressure on the top of the deck. So your fingers are pushing against the bottom, your thumbs pushing against the top, okay? And what's going to happen is you're going to let the cards drop, or in the final case, toss from hand to hand. And what's going to happen is those cards are just going to kind of stick to your fingers from the pressure of your fingers. So in reality, what's going to happen, maybe I'll turn them up like this so you can see the 3 clubs here and the 4 hearts right here. What's happening is I'm tossing the cards, but as I toss, these cards stay behind in my hands. That's how it works. It's so easy. It's so easy. So it goes right here. So you say they're in there. I'm going to toss it from hand to hand while the cards are getting tossed. I'm going to go into the deck of cards mid-toss, and I'm going to find those cards and catch them with my hand. Now that all sounds ridiculous, I know, but you can build it up like this is a real skill. This is something you've been practicing and you've been doing forever and ever and ever, and it's really, really difficult, and in fact, it's really easy. So here we go. So the cards are going to go from hand to hand. I'm just going to push pressure, and also kind of, just kind of the natural tackiness of your fingers help. So I'm going to toss it from hand to hand. I catch the cards. I go over here and I say, check it out. I've now caught the red 4 and the black 3. Come on. How good is that? How good is that? Well, there you go. Those are 3 very simple card tricks that you can do at home. I hope you enjoy them. I hope you go out and show your friends, blow them away, post them on TikTok. If you do, make sure you tag me. I would love to see them. And also come back to the channel, learn more magic, see me cook some stuff. I like to cook on the channel, love to teach stuff. My girlfriend and I, we attempt new things. It's a lot of fun. And thank you so much for subscribing and liking the video and all the things. And I will see you guys on the next video. Deck of cards, vanish. Good, right?